What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Social Justice Warriors podcast. My name is ItsASmallProtest.
And I'm Mr. Floyd.
So this is going to be our first podcast. So I think today we're just going to kind of go over who the Social Justice Warriors brand is, who Floyd and I are, and what exactly the fuck we think we're doing.
So I'd like to start off. My name is Mr. Floyd. I also go by Floyd Green and Blue Floyd. I am 18 years old and I'm from Canada. I've been sober for 36 hours. And all in all, I've been recording, streaming, and doing content creation for about the past year and a half before meeting Mr. Protest. We actually bumped into each other through Rainbow Six, and I feel like that's where both of our contents are headed at the moment. So stay tuned for more collaborated videos and stuff to come.
Can you fucking speak right, please? This is a podcast. Yeah, so I don't know. We originally started the Social Justice Warriors, just my brother Riot and I. You might have seen him if you've seen any of my YouTube videos. He's been in quite a few of those, but he's kind of on a hiatus for now. He might show up later. We'll see if he stops being a lazy little bitch. But so no, I've been kind of working at it and not really feeling too confident. And my knight in shining armor here, Mr. Floyd, shows up one day and we vibed really well. That's not true. You hated me in the beginning. You didn't even want to be a part of our Discord server.
That's true. I ended up leaving probably the first day that I showed up. I was playing Rainbow and they invited me to the server, and at that time I had been running my own server, and I was like, you know what, this is too much to deal with. I was like, these guys are annoying, so I just left. The next day I came back and I was like, oh well, you know what, screw it. So here we are now.
That's funny. But yeah, so I don't know. We kind of, Riot and I originally started the Social Justice Warriors around the idea of like kind of making a joke at the cancel culture. Like, you can't joke about pretty much fucking anything without someone getting offended, and you know that's not how we think the world should be. But at the same time, like we definitely understand sensitivity and you know, hardships of other people, and people who actually get legitimately offended at jokes for legitimate reasons. It's like, you know, you have to respect that, but the same goes with, you have to respect, or they have to respect the fact that we're gonna make jokes, you know, with our friends, and it's kind of walking the balance. So I mean, my original idea with the Social Justice Warriors was to create the true social justice warriors, you know, the people who can integrate both sides of that very divided and very nuclear fucking conversation. Basically under the premise to be a good person but still be able to laugh and make jokes, you know, and get along. There's a difference between, you know, being in a Discord call with your friends and making jokes and going out in the street and actually treating somebody poorly because they are quote unquote different from you.
And I feel like that's the same thing with anything in life. You know, moderation makes a big impact in anything. If you're, you know, addicted to a substance, then of course you're gonna make rash decisions. Or if you're playing video games nonstop, then of course that's gonna cloud what's actually going on. So I feel if you make light of jokes, always in moderation too. Like, we're not here to, you know, bash on people, but at the same time, if there's a Karen, you know, walking into Walmart saying that she needs a refund on her bag of chips she already ate, then of course that's going to be a topic for a later podcast.
Jesus Christ, fuck Karens. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, Floyd, I feel like you're kind of on board with that whole mentality. You know, am I incorrect in that?
What'd you say?
You fucking dumbass. Pay attention. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
listening, but you keep cutting out.
That sounds like a personal problem. For the most part, it seems like you're pretty on board with that whole mentality and kind of
Totally, yeah.
what we all originally started the brand for. I mean, we are at least right now a gaming based comedy entertainment. You know, none of us are fucking ever gonna be esports players, so we kind of just fuck around.
Speak for yourself, G Fuel. If you have a sponsorship, call me up. My email is going to be posted. Link in the description below.
Fuck that. We're a gamer subs brand here, baby.
Oh, that's a topic for another day. Gamer subs with G Fuel.
Yeah.
Poll in the top right corner. Click now.
So, despite Floyd's delusions, none of us are probably ever going to be in esports. We'll have some good clips every once in a while, but we are no way, shape, or form consistently good players at any video game.
Speaking of clips, if you want some
Oh
really
my
nice
God.
clips, head over to the
Quit fucking.
Social Justice Warriors TikTok.
Bro, we're trying to
Oh
lure
my.
them in. Don't start throwing shit at them. You know, they gotta
Sell
get to
out.
know. They gotta get to know us first. We gotta tease them a little bit. You know.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Fuck, this is a disaster already. So, yeah, we're gaming based, we're comedy based. Most of our YouTube and Twitch stuff, you know, at least on my end, I try and make jokes of everything. So, definitely not serious. That's kind of the point of the brand. We're just trying to have fun and kind of build a community of like-minded people. You know, the more.
Yeah, totally. The biggest thing that I felt is, and we've talked about this a little bit, is what separates us from other gaming channels, because I know there's millions of people that want to make it big and want to start a gaming channel and be the next Tifu. But I feel like within the short amount of time that we've like started up everything, we've got our Twitch channels, we've got our YouTube and TikTok, and now this podcast. I feel like the dedication that we have put into our content creation is better than some of the other people. So I feel like
Bro, I'm not here to fucking bitch about anything, but I've been, for the most part, again, I've had a few hiatuses because depression is real, but for the most part, I've been producing YouTube videos for the better part of 8 months now, maybe 9. And those edits on the videos take me fucking 20 to 30 hours a week. And every week I'm trying to post and post. So it's like, you know, with very little viewers. Please subscribe. Please. But no, it's like, yeah, there's a certain level of dedication. I think we're serious about it, you know. We're not those people who are like, "Oh, I'm going to start a gaming YouTube channel because haha." Like we take our edits seriously. We take the ideology of our brand seriously. We take the people who support us seriously, I think is the biggest thing. But no, I mean,
yeah,
I've been looking.
totally. It's a journey that a lot of people wanna create, and you want to create a legacy and a community and build your brand, but the work isn't always there. But I feel like for us, we're not giving up. We're starting and we're coming out of the gate hot, and I feel like we're going to keep this momentum for a while. And, even if stuff doesn't work out, the viewers that we do have are going to be, even closer. I feel like those big channels that have, 45 million following on multiple platforms, they're not engaged with their viewers on a personal level, but right now we are, although really small. We have 35 people in the Discord. I feel like the more people that join, you get to know them, you get to talk with them, you play with them, and you relate with them.
Honestly, that's why, like, that's what keeps me going. Like, having like I'll meet you guys either through, if you happen across my video and you join the Discord through the links, or if I'll meet people gaming and they just join and they support the brand after joining the Discord and meeting me. It's like pretty much everybody in the server that is active in the server, which is the majority of people, like we talk with, we play with, and that kind of in of itself is like, it's always nice to dream of like, ooh, 10 million subscribers, or yada yada. But even just having the friends that I've met and the support of the people we have met, it's like it
Yeah,
makes you
totally.
feel successful. It's great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a great feeling. It's runner's high for people that don't like to leave the house.
Right, because we're all fucking incels sitting at our fucking RGB PCs playing video games all day. But no,
Hell yeah, man.
that's one of the things that really shocked me about you is, in the beginning, obviously we had that little hot and cold situation, which we didn't even really I mean, we played together, but we didn't really like talk. Like,
Well, I mean, in my defense, I kind of thought you hated me because
why?
that one game we played on Chalet, and I joined in, and it was me and you and Agger, and you were playing TikToks, and I was just sitting there with I'm like my fingers pointed together doing the I'm shy dance, wanting wanting to say something, and protests over there listening to TikTok, scrolling through, watching Addison Rae do her body rolls. So I mean,
Bro,
it's not completely my fault.
that's, he's not wrong, bro. I mean, though, like Shoreline, who we met, like literally how Shoreline and I became friends, and he joined the server, which he's like one of the admins of the server now. Like we're all really close with him. I literally like we were talking in game chat in Siege, and I just am like, "Oh, you're a fucking beta," and he's like, "You're a fucking beta," and we just became friends. Like, people either think I hate him or they understand the humor that I'm putting behind it.
And totally, and that's what we were saying earlier about the whole, what is the social justice warriors brand is, although we can join a lobby and call you a beta, the people that don't take that seriously and don't take that personal, like, you're shining light on the joke. So that's
Exactly.
that's the whole point on what we're trying to get across is, although we might come at you and sound like we're mad, it's all a joke.
Exactly.
Nothing's meant to hurt you or
Not gonna lie, I'm so fucking sociopathic that I wouldn't even give a fuck. Like, I wouldn't care enough to try and hurt your feelings. I just
You heard it here first, folks. Protest is sociopathic.
I'm pretty sure that's been in my videos. It's a pretty frequent topic of discussion. Riot knows. I'm kind of insane, but it's okay. But
Only slightly insane.
just a tad. But no, that brings
In
me.
other news, a 23-year-old man escaped a psych ward last night. And
That's not my age. Don't get my real age out, bitch. I'm anonymous. Speaking of which, we're both anonymous. There's reasons for that, kind of behind what we're doing here, but it's also like for me it's a mixture of I'm probably going to say shit that's going to piss certain blue-haired girls off, and I don't, necessarily want my face attached to that until this is a more normalized thing. But, you also have to consider, like, I consider my career, like the career field I've chosen to pursue alongside of, YouTube and Twitch. If something were to get out there, like I could very easily not have a career. So there's consequences to doing this. Even though I have really good intentions going into it, I understand the consequences. So yeah, I just try and keep myself anonymous. That's not saying I'm not gonna share like personal details about my life, but more specifics like name, age, my address or anything like that is probably gonna stay
yeah,
under
it's
wraps.
123 Sesame Street.
Yes, exactly.
PO Box 4339.
Insert long-winded joke here.
Hollywood, California. The funniest home videos. I
Bro.
don't even know what I used to know what that PO box was.
Why did you why did you
I
know
just
that?
watched I watched that show every day, man. That show was hilarious. Just watching these dumbass people on their skateboards and then jump over a railing and get absolutely nailed in the nards.
Bro, that's the beauty of TikTok, is it's just an endless stream of that. Fucking
Hell yeah.
oh yeah.
The For You page never ends, baby.
True. Until that fucking dude jumps up and like, "Hey, you've been scrolling too long." Every time that happens, bro, I'm like, "Fuck."
Every time that happens, I'm like, crap, it's 3 a.m.
Like, how long have I been here? I always
Hell
listen to
yeah.
him though. I do. I listen to him. I'm like, you know what? You have a good point. So I'll go up and I'll get some water, and then 5 minutes later, I'll lay my fat ass down and keep watching
And I'll
TikTok
go back on TikTok.
for another 3 hours before he pops up again. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But after that long tangent, back to my original point of like just appreciating people, like the people we have now, this small community supporting me. Dude, that's one of the, like, you came in, once you came back in, you went from like, yeah, I don't know about this place, like I'm gonna leave the server, like I don't know about these guys. When you came back in, dude, you went full send on my ass, like literally nobody ever has before. You're like promoting my shit, you're fucking giving me shout outs, you're
And
fucking bitch ass.
I know a big influence for you and for me is David Dobrik,
Mm-hmm.
and one of his sayings that's always stuck with me is if you give something, you'll always get it back in return. Like maybe it's not a Tesla. I know David's probably not going to get somebody like giving him a Tesla back, but if you give someone kindness, you'll receive that later in life. You know, it's like whatever karma is. So I feel like if I showed protest the kindness of like, hey, I'm gonna promote your shit, I'm gonna, show you, hey, don't give up, because although streaming can be really depressing at times, streaming to zero viewers, you know recording videos and editing for 3 days and having no recognition, although that's really difficult, it only takes one person to step up and say, hey, I do have, this brand, this platform that I can shed light on the people that are coming up. And although you don't want to do that to everybody, I know, Mr. Beast isn't going to go to every single little kid that walks up to him and says, I want to be a YouTuber. But I feel like if he did something like that, where he was like, hey, I see this one person putting in the work, like what I did with protest, you can grow yourself even more because you're showing kindness and those people enjoy watching that.
Well, I mean, Mr. Beast and like David Dobrik and the people that do that, like there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do that too. Because it's very clear when you're just doing something for views or for something in return. And honestly, I was
Yeah.
kind of worried about that in the beginning for you. I'm like, what the fuck do I have to offer this guy? Like, oh, what? I can make him a co-owner of a brand that's failing, like I did. But like Mr. Beast and David Dobrik, they're like, you can tell, like, yeah, they use it for content, but they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Like when Mr. Beast goes on these streams with zero viewers, like he knows that he's about to do something that's changing their life. Yes, he has the benefit of getting content out of it, but he's like, you can very clearly see his intent in doing that just by the way he acts, everywhere else. Same thing with David. Versus, I'm not gonna call any creators out specifically because I don't want that to be, who I am. But you can tell like there are certain streamers and certain YouTubers that literally
Why do
just.
you not have $5?
I
$5.
wasn't gonna say names, but yeah, that's kind of who I'm
If
talking about.
if you know, you know. I mean,
Yeah, but
you can spend hours on my stream and not have $5.
but yeah, I mean, well, that's a perfect example. Like that particular person versus like I don't know his exact handle, but the bro X or whatever his handle is. the New Zealander that does woodworking and carving and shit like that. Like the okay, is there any way I can regift those to you? Is there any way I can give back?
Yeah.
Like, just that's the kind of
The same mentality that I feel like we both want to. I know you've said this since, day one of me helping you out and of me doing these things is I don't want like our viewers to pay me because I feel like that's the actual platform's job. If I'm giving these platforms, the views, if I'm bringing people to their platform, I want them to pay me and not donations. Like, although donations are amazing, like I love you guys, thank you for that, but I don't like go out of my way and say, "Oh, give me money," because I feel like that's where these companies should step in. Sponsorships.
exactly.
Sponsorships never used to be a thing on YouTube, but now all of these companies are like, "Hey, these content creators can potentially make me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe I'll give them a shot." So
Well, and
my business email is going to be linked in the description below.
but no, he has a very valid point, and we're both very much in agreement on the fact that it's like
Say that one more time. Sorry.
said you have a valid point, and you and I are both very much in agreement that like you said that it's not the viewer's responsibility to donate. I mean, there's no way, shape, or form that you or I are going to officially be able to stop any kind of donations from coming in. Just because of the way that these platforms are set
Yeah,
up.
just
But honestly, like my mentality is if I get a donation from somebody, I'm going to basically send that right back to one of two things, which is either increasing the quality of the content that I'm bringing you, because that's essentially what you're paying me for, or find a way to give it back to the viewers, in
yeah,
some sort
back to
of
the community. If
exactly.
it's like, funding towards a video, funding towards new equipment, I feel like that's the step that donations themselves would go to.
Hmm.
I feel like the actual platform themselves should be, the salary that these content creators make. And if you're a low content creator, if you have, lower subscribers, of course you're going to make less, and that's what your salary is going to depend on. But the viewers themselves shouldn't be paying our salary. I feel like that's,
Yeah.
where buying a new webcam, buying a new keyboard, all that kind of stuff would come into play.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, this broken down, like you're having fun with it, but it is a business, and you have to invest your own time and money into the business until you start generating, revenue. So like a business that's not making any sales, you really have to question whether or not it's because the market that I'm in just hates me and yada yada, or is the product that you're offering shit, like I'm not gonna sit here and have 100 followers on Twitch and be like why the fuck am I not making money, like my content deserves more, like yada yada. I mean, if my content's good, I'll get viewers. It might take time, but I'll get viewers. If it's not, then I'm not gonna get viewers. And I feel like some
Yeah,
people out there
totally.
have a different mindset. They're like, the platform is
Yeah.
suppressing me, or yada yada. Like, nah, dude, people just
The
don't want to watch your shit. you
the
know
whole shadow bans thing, I feel like that's blown out of proportion. No, these platforms aren't shadow banning you because you're doing a bad thing. You just need to amp up your content. If you make the same video 17 times in a row, the fifth time people are going to be like, okay, this is boring. So I feel like, although the saying is you don't need to reinvent the wheel, at this point with content creation, you have to reinvent the wheel. You have to present yourself, your brand, in a way that's different from everyone else. And I
Mhm.
feel like we have definitely struck a different market. We have cringy but really funny content, and we have a community that is full of, people that are funny, people that are like not taking stuff too seriously.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Call Me Carson focuses a lot on his. Sorry for name dropping a bunch of creators, but honestly, I think it's important that people know what our influences are so they can get a better idea or understanding of who we are. But like Call Me Carson
Well,
is super active in his community, and I really want that. I really want. I mean, at some point, if we get big, it's gonna be hard to connect with everyone, but I don't want to be one of these like I don't want to turn into one of these big creators that just kind of shuts himself off from his community. Like I definitely want to try and be as active a part of it as I can and meet
yeah,
as
and
many
I feel
people.
like that's the streaming mentality too. Is although you really enjoy YouTube, and we both do Twitch, I feel like Twitch streamers have it a lot better and have a more engaging community because you see that live chat, you're talking with your viewers, you're engaged with your viewers, and you have that like almost personal connection. I forget what streamer it was. If I figure it out, I'll let you guys know, but there was something I was watching and somebody came on and said like, "Oh, I just got divorced today." And he had been a mod on that stream for, God knows how long. And the streamer took the time out of that stream to stop playing his game and said, although this game is, my job, and nothing's more important than, my community. And he stopped and he talked with the chat and he talked with this guy and he said, whatever you're feeling right now will pass. So I feel like although streaming is, a job, it's also an escape from reality. I feel like that's why a lot of people play video games, is for the escape from reality, because real life sucks. And
Fucking tell me about it, bro.
and if you can come on and if you can have this community of people that maybe don't know who you are but know your online presence, and you can laugh, you can joke, you can have a good time with these people, that's what it's all about. And that's why I make content, is because I want to, even if it's just who I'm streaming to one person, I want to make one person's day better.
Hell yeah. Mr. Canada's over here about I
Hey, I'm about to tell you something.
I love it. I forget what clip or I forget what streamer it was, but I saw a clip very similar to what you're talking about. A guy was just, playing. His chat was fairly, active. But I guess he had been talking to this one kid whose dad had cancer. For a while, and the kid came on stream, is like, hey, my dad, like, he's clear, like, he doesn't have cancer anymore. And like, I might be remembering a different clip, but I'm pretty sure the streamer like started crying. I don't know if I'm thinking of two different clips, but
Hell, I would,
dude,
man.
oh
That's
my
crazy.
god, oh yeah, I would be so fucking emotional, dude. Like,
I mean, face cam off. I'm done. Stream's ending early today, guys.
I'd be like, here's my personal number, like, call me, we'll talk about it. Fuck, there goes my anonymity. But dude, like, I don't know what drives me, but like, I don't know. We'll probably get into this more in a later podcast, but the shit that I've been through in life and wished I had somebody there to care about me, like, I wanna be that for other people so bad, man. Like, that might be selfish, but you know, just having somebody
You,
that,
I didn't hear any of that. You cut out for a little bit.
oh my god, fix your fucking audio.
It's your audio,
No,
man.
no, it's never my fault. Fuck. I forgot what I said. Basically, like, I've been through a lot of shit, and it might be selfish, but I want to be there for other people, like, if they need, and that's not always going to be possible, but like, I definitely want to be that, like, the person that if anything is going wrong in your life and you're upset about it, like, even if you don't know me in real life, like, just fucking come to me, talk with me. I wish that fact right there made me really sad about a certain individual who came and left the server. It's like, that person was going through shit, and I put myself out there and I was like, hey, man, if you want to talk about anything, like, I'm here, like, we'll talk, like, whatever you need, whenever you need, just let me know. And, I can't expect everyone to take me up on that offer. He didn't. But it's still sad to see, somebody hurting that just he wouldn't accept help from anyone.
Yeah, and although like there's a time and a place for everything. Like we said at the beginning that we don't take stuff like way too seriously, but if you're going through something, there's always like, a place and a time, to say, hey,
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the biggest thing that I tell everybody in the server is if you have shit going on, none of us will care if you tell us that you have shit going on, you're in a bad mood, you just want to be here, but you might be, down in the dumps. Cool. Let us know. We're good. We're not all sitting there like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? But don't come in and like be in voice chat with us if you're just gonna be a little party pooper and not at least like, you don't have to spill everything and say exactly what's going on. Like, that's your business. If you want to share it. But this is a place where people can laugh and make jokes, and we'll be here if you need someone here, and we have no problem having you be a part of whatever we're doing, as long as you give us some warning that, hey, you might not be the most
for sure.
jokey individual, but don't fucking start drama and do shit for attention, and then not, when we're like, hey, we're gonna give you this attention, be like, oh no, nothing. No, yeah, like, fuck that shit. Man up. Speak your truth. No, I mean, I really.
I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Keep going.
No, you go.
I was gonna switch topics.
Oh, me too. So you go.
Okay. I know that we were talking earlier in the week. I know you were scrolling past on your For You page. There was the whole AI thing. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that, because I know we had a really good talk before about that.
AI is fucking terrifying.
So there was a recent research done by this development team, and they had 4 AI controlled robots, and they were completely autonomous. They did everything themselves. And what it was a tag game. So there was a red team and there was a blue team, and the blue team had to block themselves in, and the red team were the seekers. So the blue team, had to hide away from them, did whatever. And for the first million generations of AI, the first million tries, they died instantly. But then the blue team started to realize, okay, if we use these game objects for our advantage and lock ourselves in here, the red guys can't win. So it ended up that the red team developed a thought process to actually break the game. So they would take ramps, and they would intentionally glitch themselves off the side of the map in order to get into this blue people's group. So it was really crazy to think. The game developers didn't even know that they were going to think that way. And AI is a really scary topic, because although you could think exactly, if you're the developer, you're like, okay, this is what it's going to do. That robot has its own thought process, and it's going to potentially, do something you never even planned it to do.
Okay, bro, but think about that, right? So put that in a real world situation. Like, you tell an AI, all right, here's your goal. You got to get this done. Like, fuck it. Say it's an assassination AI, like a I can't speak, a little fucking robot that is like, we're diving deep into conspiracy theory here. But you're like, hey, robot, go kill this terrorist. And they're like, okay. And they go to kill the terrorist. But the terrorist keeps running away, hiding, can't find him, yada yada. So, all right, the AI is just gonna break the fucking game and nukes the entire world. Like,
And there's a show on Netflix. It's called The 100. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's basically what happened. There was this girl. Her name was Allie, and she created an artificial intelligence that she could like inject into humans, and the AI realized why the world was dying was due to overpopulation, and there are thousands of different possibilities for you to decrease overpopulation. You could um, make more land. The ocean is like 80% of the world. If we, somehow could live underwater in like vacuum sealed chambers, I know that's hundreds of years away, but that would help, the overpopulation in some parts of the world. But what this robot realized was if you kill everybody, there's no more population, so there's no more overpopulation. So I feel like the way that AI could go is it could do really, really well. It could even do better than the person thought, because that's what this game showed the developers is if I tell the robot, okay, start here and go get me a drink from downstairs and bring it back to me, the robot could learn, okay, maybe I don't take the path that he told me to. Maybe I find a shortcut, and then it can, itself become more productive.
so a little bit of background on Mr. Floyd here. He's had a fairly, I would say, fairly extensive background in tech and programming and, coding and yada yada.
Yes, sir.
I'm kind of a dumbass. I just hopped into this world like a few months ago. But
Oh,
so
baby.
fuck you. But so this isn't just Floyd's not just talking out his ass. He's got a little bit of experience, but
Well, I mean, that's debatable.
think about yeah, true. You are kind of full of shit, huh? But no, like I mean, think about the logic of it though, right? So that the lady tasked with reducing, population or creating more space for growth of humanity, like the logic system in that, right? What's the most logical system? Because you can provide temporary solutions, but you're going to run into the same problem, in what, 100, 200 years our time, 1,000 years our time, like according to scale and time of the universe, like depending on what the perspective of the AI is, that could be no time at all in relativity to like life and the existence of life.
I feel like the whole thing that robots don't know time would come into effect because the robot doesn't realize the generation of humans, because the robot can live infinitely. The robot doesn't have to eat, sleep, drink, all human nature things. The robot doesn't have living organisms. It's a computer. If it's supplied with power, it will still run.
Right.
You can get a computer from 1980 and plug it in, and there's a possibility it will still run. You might need to do some repairs, but it will still run. And I feel like that's the point with AI is, although we want to rush this, and although we want to make our lives easier and our lives live longer, these robots would live forever. So we have to think about not even today's generation, but what it's going to look like in 10 generations or 20 or 30.
Right. Dude, fucking AI is terrifying, and I don't even want to talk about it because it's so fucking scary. Bro,
Yeah.
what was it? Elon Musk said it on Joe Rogan's podcast, dude. He's like, in the 90s, like all the movies were about like AI taking over, and like the scientists were like, oh no, that'll never happen. And he's like, nowadays everyone's like, oh yeah, AI, it's cool. There's no possibility of them taking over. And the scientists are like, yeah, no, there is.
Well,
like, yeah, they're like, well,
well,
actually, yeah, there's a pretty good chance that they're gonna fuck us all up. So
about that.
Jesus. Dude, that's fucking...
Did you say something? You're cutting out. I can't hear you.
This audio is gonna piss me off.
Yeah, but it's a scary thing, and you know, although it is really scary, there's a lot of things that us as humans have had to overcome, like, going from the Stone Age to the Industrial Revolution. That probably was a very, very scary time, you know, learning how to manufacture cars and all these like different things, where before they were just using horses, and there was probably, Neanderthal, oh, I don't want to get in automobile, I like my horse and buggy. So there's
Bro,
always going to be those people, like what our brand is. There's always going to be those people that have different views and
you want to know why
on different things.
You want to know why boomers are the way boomers are? Think about it. Think about these old fucks, right?
Well, it's the way that they've grown up.
Exactly. That's my point. Everything from basically like debatably 1980, between 1980 and 2000, everything before that was so fucking slow, dude. Even the big changes, like, all right, so we now have these thing called automobiles, but guess what? A horse is fucking faster. Like, what, it's just not alive. Like, even that, it's like the changes were there debatably are a few major changes, like the Industrial Revolution, but it happened relatively slowly, and it didn't immediately severely impact the way the world operated.
Yeah, it didn't severely impact everyone. I feel like the whole thing about boomers and whatever is their life started, the microwave just got invented, basically.
Right. Like TV was a big fucking deal.
Yeah, TV, but black and white, and now we have 4K, like 1 millisecond refresh rate monitors. Like, are you kidding me? The amount of progression that we've had, and I feel like that's why boomers get a bad rap, is because
they're also fucking retarded, so
some of them. But I feel like that's why it's difficult for those people to comprehend, is because, I've even talked to, 20-year-olds and, 30-year-olds that have been around since, the iPod, the iMac, all those things, and they're well versed in technology. I've talked to them about cryptocurrency, and it has been, like talking to a brick wall. So I feel like no matter what age you are, you're going to, understand different things. And I feel like, kids being born right now are going to understand technology 30 times better than I could ever understand it, and, better than any boomer could understand it. And like Captain America, if you got frozen in a block of ice, 50 years ago, and you woke up now, how would your life be different? The first computer was invented in 1977. That wasn't that long ago.
Well, see, I have a counterpoint to you, though. You said like newer generations will be probably more I can't fucking speak, like more versed in technology. That, to a point, that's true, but I also feel like Gen Z and our generation and any generation here to come is going to be so much better at adapting because of how much changes in our daily lives.
Very true, yeah.
That is very significant, or at least portrayed to be very significant. Like, bro,
yeah, totally.
Just think about this year alone. Oh my fucking God. It started with Australia burning to the fucking ground, then a world-ending pandemic, then fucking...
Hey. The pandemic didn't happen until after we raided Area 51. I'm just saying.
Raided.
We raided Area 51, and this shit hit. There's no coincidence there, man.
The fucking government was like, "Oh, you want to show up at our fucking doorstep? Here you go, bitch."
the government's like, oh, TikTok, you want to steal aliens? Ha ha, I kill you now.
Bro, we just breezed over the fact that the Pentagon was like, yeah, we found a UFO. We don't know where the fuck it came from, but it's not from this planet. We just breezed over that. You realize that, right?
Well, I mean, we've also breezed over a lot of stuff. The whole, laws being passed while in quarantine. People have no idea that any of that shit happened. There
Yeah.
was a whole bunch of technological, safety laws that were passed, and Edgar and I were talking about this. It's a scary fact that, the internet isn't as safe as you think it is.
Oh no! What?
But
Who's?
I mean,
If you
that's a
think
topic for another day.
if you think the internet's safe, you are dumb. I think any normal person, at least
Boomer.
around true, any normal person around our age is like, yeah, the internet's really not a safe place. But
Yeah, it's scary, and the more that the internet develops and the older it gets, the more safety laws that we have to put in place because we're realizing, okay, 20 years ago nobody realized an IP address could be tracked back to you. You know what I mean?
right.
And although like doxing has been like a really big thing these past like few 5-10 years, nobody knew about that a while ago. So
Well, yeah, I mean, in 1970, 1980, tracing an IP address would have landed you in the CIA, and now any fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare lobby motherfucking yelling looking ass
yep.
can threaten to
So,
dox you with a fucking free software.
okay, James Snowden, I know where you live. 23 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
It's like the TikTok, this you? Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's crazy to think, and I feel like those people that have been, imprisoned or like in trouble for all that stuff 20-30 years ago are sitting in their chair laughing because they're like, I was the forefather of this.
Yeah, right. I mean, could you
So
imagine though? Like, well, I mean, we're gonna see that. We're gonna see that probably even more expansive. Well, I don't know if it'll be the same. So, like, the people who were like first working on the first computers and it was just starting to become a concept. Like looking back today, I'm sure that's such a beautiful feeling to see it
oh
start.
yeah, to see the starting of the Intel chip. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But if you
Where they started.
Right. But if you think about now, like you and I, by the time we're 60 or 70 years old, but just because that curve just continues to push upwards at an exponential rate, like the shit we're going to be able to experience at that age is going to be unfucking believable, dude.
And I feel like this, like currently, is the golden era because we're in a time where we have technology at our fingertips and we're able to experience life, in a better quality of life than all of these, other people had it. And, it's a privilege and a curse.
Bro, we're in the stone age of the technology age. Are you kidding me? What,
Totally.
you use a keyboard to search for things? You had to look at a monitor? What?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like you had to use a mouse to navigate. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, dude,
It's
fucking
it's
hell.
gonna be it's a crazy thing with the whole I know I was talking to people before with quantum tech and how you can make a processor that small and do that many tasks because if you have a 4.1 gigahertz CPU, that's doing 4.1 billion things at a second. So, I mean, in 20, 30 years, what is that number going to be instead of 4.1? Is it going to be 27? Is it going to be, or is it going to halt at a specific point? Because you can always go so far. You can only go so far.
Well, that's the big question, right? Is will the
When is enough
curve
enough?
well, I mean, we're humans. Enough is never enough. We're going to keep going until it
True.
fucking kills us. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole environment shit shows that. Oh, look, let's drive a car with gas and kill ourselves. Because why? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
You think the first human knew not to eat, a poisonous berry? They learned from their brother or sister that died.
yeah.
We're
But
like, oh, fire bad, don't burn yourself.
well, fire good, but fire bad. But yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
exactly.
it makes you wonder like will the curve flatten, or is this one of those things that'll just exponentially increase? Or I mean everything has a limit, right? Well, that's not true. Infinity exists. I'm contradicting
Well,
myself. Does it? Does it? Bum bum bum. That was dumb. I'm
that's a
sorry.
topic for another day.
But no, like it's gonna be crazy to see just how far this goes. Technology's
Yeah,
weird, man. It
technology is weird.
hurts my
You know,
little
if you
brain.
think about it, 20 years ago, VGA cables were a thing, and now you're using DisplayPort, you know?
Oh my god. Bro, I had a fucking computer at my office. Like most of the computers at my office when I came in there were VGA cables. I was like, oh my god. Bro, I'm literally in like an archaic time in that office because the previous owner bought like the best pre-built you could buy and like
Ew,
but
pre-built.
in like 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got like fucking Gateway, right? Or
Yeah.
like HP with Beats audio and
I buy power.
no, there was thankfully no iBuyPower. God, that would have been atrocious. But it's funny
You
cracking
know what
these.
I think is really insane?
Hmm.
When the conversion went from like 1999 to 2000, the tech industry was really freaking smart because all of these computers that were marketed as 2K ready. I don't know if you remember that or if you know anything about that, but when all of these computers were being sold from mom and pop's shop, and they had the sticker, this is 2K ready, that meant nothing. All of these computers were already 2K ready. They were gonna change over at 2000 regardless, but all of these tech companies realized, okay, we can make money by advertising it as 2K ready. And I feel like it's a really cool thing to think about with old tech. Although, you look at it and you're like, wow, this is old, like I don't want to use this. At the same time, you're like, back then this was probably the best thing money could buy.
Could you imagine telling somebody like, "Hey, by the way, like your computer, it's like once we hit 2025, like it's not gonna function
Yeah,
anymore. Like you
exactly.
need to,
And that's the whole thing with Apple and
oh, fuck.
all of their stuff admitting to bricking their old devices, which is it's kind of crazy to think, something becomes obsolete, but at one time that was the best thing ever.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because tech companies can pretty much get away with whatever the fuck they want. Why? Because
Yeah.
as even though most of us feel like this shit's been around forever, because most of us have grown up with it, like it's really new. There's not a lot of
Oh yeah.
regulations about it, and there's not a lot of oversight going on in specific companies, and there's not a lot of safeguards for that. So,
Yep.
I
Yep.
mean, as more we'll say more tech savvy people will start getting into office than what we currently have, at least in America. Sorry, Floyd. This is not
Yeah, yeah.
this is not Canadian talk, but
In office. What's an office?
what's that?
What's that, man?
Hopefully, we'll I mean,
Boo politics.
there's been
Boo.
yeah, true. Fuck politics. I hate politics, dude. Politics is the dumbest shit ever. It's dumb
Yeah.
talk for dumb people.
So political, man.
Fuck it. I'm done. You're right. I was getting political there. Fuck that shit.
That's all good. That's all good.
But I mean, my whole point was that there's going to be a lot
Yeah.
of changes, and tech will become more grounded and more real, and more competition will open up. Like, there's going to be more than just Apple and Samsung.
Yeah. That's what I think right now is the big thing is as tech increases in popularity, there's going to be more companies, and more companies means cheaper prices and more demand, but also a lot more supply. Because right now, if you look at it, there's only really two major companies. There's Intel and there's AMD. And that's what's kind of dominating the tech world right now is you can either have a NVIDIA card or you can have an AMD card. You can either have an Intel processor or you can have an AMD processor. And there's no in between. Like there's two options, and they've kind of got the consumer by the balls. So
Yeah, pretty much. Which it's like
I'd love to see another company come in and trump those guys and say, hey, I'm going to offer basically the same thing you're offering, but at half the price. But you can't do that because these companies have had all of this knowledge from the past couple of years that they've been doing it. So I'd love to see something like that come into effect.
well, I mean, competition drives innovation.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that. The most productive times are when there's a lot of people on the playing field with a large resource at their bay, you know? I mean, once you
totally.
get like, if you get like 30 companies that are all roughly the same size but are the top of the market, then you're not going to have a ton of competition just because the resources are going to be spread too thin. But I mean, you look at like phones. I feel like are in a good place right now. I know I just referenced Apple and Samsung, but think about it. You have Apple, Samsung, LG.
Huawei just came into play.
Yeah, I've been not really in America because we're all
True.
all fearing of China, but
No, China.
China bad.
China, if you're listening, I'm so sorry.
No ching chong here. But
oh my god. God.
but no, like people shit on Apple for like, oh yeah, Samsung did that 2 years ago. Well, yeah, why do you think Samsung did that 2 years ago? Because they're trying to beat Apple.
What's funny? Samsung makes Apple parts.
Mm-hmm.
If you break down an Apple phone, you will find Samsung chips in there.
Yeah.
So all of these, Apple bandwagoners, all these, Becky that has her iPhone 11 that's shitting on people with their Q10 Plus. Inside of your phone, there's Samsung parts, honey.
Honestly,
so
though. Oh, go ahead.
I just think it's really funny how, the divide between two companies where there's people that know about it and they couldn't give a shit. Whatever's cheapest. I mean, I'm game.
Right. But I mean, the fair point that most people, I love hearing people be like, yeah, an iPhone's made with LG parts. I'm like, yeah, but do you know how powerful a brand name is and a status symbol is?
Yup.
And a better, more streamlined operating system? Sorry.
Yup.
But I love Linux.
That's where Yeah, I love Linux, but never using it.
I'll choose Windows base over a Linux base any day. I'm gonna get hate for that.
I think you're going through a tunnel. You're sounding all robotic.
Okay, well, it's the AI taking over my body.
All right, that's the end of today's podcast. I'm gonna go put my tinfoil hat on. I will see you boomers later.
Fuck. That probably is a good place to end it, though. That's basically who we are. That's a little bit of off the rails from our brand, but I mean,
I can't even understand what you're saying.
It's because I'm speaking gibberish, you stupid fuck.
You got it right when you said that.
This is gonna be the most fucked audio.
It just went, oh, it's because I'm speaking gibberish, you stupid.
the fucking audio program censoring me.
Oh man.
But yeah.
All right, say what you just said again.
Fuck.
I can hear you now.
Good. So yeah, I think that's a good place to end it. That's a good intro to who we are. Social justice warriors. Check out. We've got social. I don't know. Can we? That's dumb. Can we link social media things?
Yeah, we can. We can. Can we do it? Hold on.
We did our research, so we know exactly what to do. Fuck. check the links in the description if we're dumb and we can't actually do that. Check out our
Well, I mean, link in the description of the YouTube. Your link, so you can say that, but I can't.
Okay, yeah.
I'll just cut you out. You say your part.
Okay. Yeah, link in the description below. We'll have the Discord linked. I'll have our YouTube channels linked. Please join the Discord. Like we play tons of games.
Please.
Please,
Please.
please,
Please.
please, please. Fuck. We play tons of different games, and even if you're not a huge gamer, just hop in and chat. Like we all try and be friendly. We might bully you a little bit. It happens, but you know,
Whoa.
it's nothing.
Speak for yourself.
Fuck you. It's nothing against you guys. That's just like we just talked about. That's our humor. But no, we really want to hear from you guys, or play with you guys, chat with you guys. So check out the Discord, check out our channels, our Twitch, our YouTubes, and thanks for listening. More podcasts. We're probably going to be trying to do this on a weekly basis. Posting days are going to be Thursdays for now. If anything changes, we'll let you guys know. But thanks for listening.
Yeah. To everybody listening on Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff, thank you for tuning in to today's podcast. If we can, there will be a link in the description below or on our profile page where you can find all of our socials. My name's Floyd. I've now been sober for 37 hours. And this has been the Social Justice Warriors. Sick.